The Golden Florida Gators cutting down the net.
6 seconds to go. 5 seconds to Sharp. Top of the key. Lost the dribble.
We have been asking questions like, did this team win it or this team blow it for 23 years? Did Florida win it or Houston lose it right there? No shots taken in the final minute by the Cougars. How that could happen. And news of the day, how this could happen. The Denver Nuggets, and it's a stunner, firing head coach Michael Malone a week before the playoffs.
Answer for this, Woody. We need an answer for this.
Explain yourself, Woody.
Florida Gators national champions. We'll get to that in a second. We start with the shocking news of the afternoon from Denver today. The Nuggets firing head coach Michael Malone and firing general manager Calvin Booth. Did anybody see this coming? There's 3 games left in the regular season. Denver's going to the playoffs. They're the 4 seed. You got to think they have hopes and certainly could make a case they could recapture the form of a championship team with Jokic at MVP level and then, of course, with the championship winning coach. But that is not the case anymore with today's release of Michael Malone, the winningest coach in franchise history, only coach with the championship. Nuggets owner Josh Kroenke today in statement saying it's unfortunate timing, but they need to move forward. It's good to have Woody Page on today. Good to have you on every day, Woody. But it's not April Fool's. What is this?
Well, it's very shocking that it happened exactly today. I would believe that it would happen at the end of the season, but I think they went, based on what I've been told, to Jokic, the best basketball player in the world, and he signed off on it because his message, Malone's, had become stale with the players. They weren't improving on defense. They weren't doing the job offensively. They've had injury problems. Russell Westbrook has not worked in, and so Malone has kind of removed him from the lineup. I thought it was going to happen at the end of the season with both Booth and Malone. They have been at odds for the last year and a half since the championship because of the personnel on this team, not improving their bench at all and not doing anything at the trade deadline. But Malone has whined about this team for the last 6 weeks, and I saw it coming, but not be the first playoff coach in NBA history to be fired this close to the playoffs. And they could fall into the play-in games. They could fall into the last place of the top 6 because they lose the tiebreakers to every team except the Warriors. It's a situation in Denver that's in flux, but they have hired David Edelman to do the interim job, and his father was a longtime NBA coach in this league, and he was set up to be a coach at some point, but maybe not today.
So you're surprised it's today, but you sensed something was coming here. Maybe I'm blind here and too far out of the forest to see the trees. Tim Cowlishaw, let me bring you in here. Is this a stunner for you?
It is for me, and I think it's a bad thing for the NBA. It feels like it's moving closer to the NHL, not in a good way. NHL, where coaches, you feel like they're fired indiscriminately and close to the playoffs and very quickly after championships. What's the troubling part here is he's less than 2 years removed from winning a title. That statement Josh Kroenke released was weak. It says he helped us build, put in the foundation for a championship level program. No, he won a title 2 years ago. Don't make it sound like he almost got you there. He got you there. You're having trouble with it, and you're moving on just like Memphis did with Taylor Jenkins a couple weeks ago. I mean, it just feels like there's just a sense of panic in front offices around the league.
Justin Tinsley around the horn of you.
Tony, my guy, I'm the same way as you. The first thing I thought of was that old Vince Lombardi quote. He was like, what the hell is going on out here? I just don't get this. Yes, I get they're on a 4-game losing streak, but the last time they had a 4-game losing streak, they won the title. And yes, they're 20th in defensive efficiency, 11 and 13 since the All-Star break, and giving up 120 points per game. But now the playoffs start next week. You're 79 games into the season. This guy, you fired a guy who has the best record in the Western Conference since the 2018-2019 season. So for me, it feels like you're punting on the season because I don't know how a new coach comes in at game 79 and says, hey, guys, let's go win another title. But you know what? Now, Woody, I understand that you said they went to Jokic and got his blessing for it. But that doesn't stop the biggest question in the NBA now. What is Jokic's future? Because you better believe some GM is going to call Denver and be like, what do you want? What does it take to get him? That's going to be a big question moving forward with all this.
And Bill Plaschke.
This is insane, Tony. They just gave up on the season. They quit on the season. The season's over with. 102 times in the NBA, a team has made a mid-season coaching change. Only once has that team won the championship. And that team had LeBron. The Nuggets have no chance now. Mm-hmm. This guy was a great coach. He won a title 2 years ago. The last 10 years, he's equaled only Steve Kerr has a better record than him. He connects with the players. Players seem to like him. They play hard for him. They were a 4th seed right now. I mean, they were playing decently. They were fine. They had a chance. Giving up on him now, whatever personal reasons that was going on between them, something's wrong. Something's awry there. They've quit. They've given up. The season's over with.
It does seem like there's something we don't know. Woody Page, I'll bring you back in here, please. Shed some more light.
Well, there had been infighting between the front office, between the ownership, and Malone. And Malone, I felt like, would be the scapegoat at the end of the season, but Calvin Booth did not go out at the All-Star game and get a Luka. He didn't go out and get a Jimmy Butler. He didn't go out and get anybody. So he and Malone were at odds, and Malone just basically gave up on his team the last week or so. He was saying, I don't know when Murray's going to come back. Maybe he'll be ready for the playoffs. There's just so much smoke, and now we're seeing the fire as a result of all that.
Kalish, I'll give you the last word on this.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can blame it all on the play-in game. This stuff didn't happen before the play-in games were there. Everybody is so panicked about not getting in, falling out of the top 6, which all these teams in the West after Oklahoma City and Houston, they're all capable of falling.
I hear you on that, but they're all also going to play each other in the first round or second. That's how close everything is.
It's a ridiculous overreaction, but
I don't believe this has anything to do with playing or whatever.
To be in there.
I mean, this is stunner to me. You asked the question: if I were to fire this coach or GM sometimes, would another team scoop them up? There are other teams in the playoffs right now that have to be like Michael Malone. Maybe we'll take him. Incredible stunner for me, at least, hearing this one today with a week to go in the NBA season. All right.
What if Memphis plays Denver in the playoffs?
Yeah, right. You've got 2 interim coaches. Not a last night. Let's do this upright for the Florida Gators. Their national championship, thrillingly sloppy and sloppily thrilling to finish, but Florida 65, Houston 63. About these Gators. First champion in 20 years to be down 9+ in each of the final 3 games and live to tell the tale. That's amazing. But this last minute, let's take a deep dive here because Houston doing it to Duke 48 hours ago, but got it done to themselves now. Could not get a shot off in the last minute. The 3 biggest possessions of their season. The Gators defense was incredible, but look at Emmanuel Sharp here. He's about to go up and down, so he drops the ball, and the Cougars season literally drops the ball. Look at Kelvin Sampson's face as it all goes away for them. Tim Kalishaw, how did this happen? What did you see with the Gators? What did you see with Sampson's face right there?
Saw it all right there with the face of 69-year-old Kelvin Sampson right there. I'll let somebody else talk about Florida. That was a Houston finish, just like Saturday was a Houston finish. The last minute was chaos. Duke fans are tearing their hair out. What's going on? This time, it's Houston fans doing it. How do we have 3 possessions and not even get the ball in the air? Don't even get a shot off. I know a lot of blame is going to go to Sharp for those last 2, but Cryer's the one who dribbled basically into somebody's chest, and he shouldn't have thrown the ball to Sharp. He got trapped there. It was just panic on Houston's part, which I do give Florida credit for creating the panic that usually Houston's the one.
In all your years covering the tournament, Tim, you ever seen a team not get a shot off in 3 different possessions in the last minute?
3 times in a row. That's unheard of.
Justin Tinsley around the horny-o.
Look, Houston imploded, but Florida laid the traps for them to do so. And to me, this game turned on a dime when those Houston big men got into foul trouble because then the paint opened up. You saw the Gators, if pun intended at least, they smelt blood in the water, and they attacked that paint with relentless precision. Yeah. It's honestly what got Clayton going in the second half. And Houston had 9 straight possessions where they didn't get a field goal. You know, going into this game, we talked about Houston's defensive prowess, as we should, but the University of Florida was one of the better defensive teams all season, and they showed it at the biggest moment possible. So in the last 5 games of the season for Florida, they were -6 in the first half, plus 37 in the second half. So that shows a level of poise and a level of talent that we haven't seen from a team on this platform in quite some time.
Bill Plaschke, around the horn to you.
We heard all month about Houston's toughness. Florida was tougher. We heard all month about Houston's resilience. Florida was more resilient. Florida was down the stretch. A great stat is they got out-rebounded on the offensive boards, yet they let them in second chance points. They got every loose ball. Houston got tired. Florida didn't get tired. Houston got confused. Florida got more intent. The last three times Houston had the ball, they couldn't even move. They couldn't even get the ball toward the rim. It was unbelievable. Tim, I know you think Houston blew it, but Florida was there defensively to make them blow it.
All right.
Florida
Florida won this. They took it. I'm hearing from
Yes.
Bill Plaschke and Woody Page. How about you?
Yes, I agree. I mean, Houston's got to be sitting there looking and saying, they're doing to us what we did to Duke. And exactly the same thing was going on, that the tougher team at the end won the game. And you could see that. People think maybe of the SEC teams being rather soft and Houston being the very difficult team to be offensive against. But in this case, the big men who I thought failed Florida, and they won because of their guards the last game, that the big men came through at the end and were controlling down deep, and they were able to get the ball inside, and they were also able to defend inside and stop Houston big men from accomplishing anything around the basket. It was a case of just reversed from the semifinal games. So I thought Florida did enough, even without their star player, to win
Absolutely
this
true.
game. They just had more emphasis
Walter
on
Payton
winning the
Jr.
game.
carried them through so much of this tournament, as you said, Woody Page. Not in the first half of this game, although he did make the plays late in that game. And that's what we saw with this Florida team coming together. They made the plays. Last word here, Tim Kalishaw, since you were focused on Houston, on Kelvin Sampson. One of the great coaches of this generation in the game. And he was a minute away from that championship in that face that he made.
Yeah. So close, and all these older coaches were texting him, win one for the old guys. Didn't quite get it
Instead,
done.
Florida head coach Todd Golden, the third youngest, and he was a new generation screaming, got the natty, let's go. Love that.
Welcome back to Around the Horn, coming to you from above the Heineken River Deck.
Law and order, doink, doink. Here we go. House versus NCAA, a final settlement reportedly incoming. You guys are going to have to explain this to me like I'm 5 years old. Athletes will be paid by schools now. They will be employees of schools or not. Someone give me some vision into that. With a salary cap now, $20.5 million reportedly could be the number they settle on. And is there a governing body in charge of any of this? Who is that? I got questions. Let's see who's got answered. Bill, start with the idea of a salary cap working in college sports.
It's a great idea, Tony. It's something that's long been needed. It'll level the playing field. It's great. We need a salary cap. The issue I have is who's going to enforce it. Is there a football commissioner? Is it a strong figure? Is there going to be a strong governing body? We need it. But given that, I think it's a great idea. I also worry about the women's sports. Are they going to get short-shrifted in this? Are they going to get forgotten in this? That's a problem too, I think. But in general, it's a good idea. I think we're got the king.
Woody Page?
Bill, you seem to be describing anarchy. I mean, who's going to be in charge? Who's going to make decisions? I am totally opposed to this. I proposed salary cap in sports in the 1970s. Look what's happened in the NFL. What's happened in the NBA. Do you think those salary caps are working? No. People cheat to beat the salary caps. That's what's going to happen among major sports in this society, because you're not going to have total control over the different conferences. I think it's just going to end up being just a complete mess, and I'm opposed to a salary cap being the solution here at all.
Tim Kalishaw, the face you made when Woody said salary caps aren't good if people cheat. Go ahead.
Based on NBA salaries today, I'd say the NBA salary cap's working okay for the players. I don't think they're getting too shortchanged at this point. And it's something you got to have. Anarchy is what they've had the last 2 or 3 years with no rules at all in college sports. They're trying to bring some. Are there going to be problems enforcing it, as Bill mentioned? Yes, of course. There always have been. That doesn't mean you don't try. It's a good start.
There's going to be a governing body. They may have not drilled down on what that is or what it looks like at this moment. Justin Tinsley, I hear you, Woody. Justin Tinsley, around the horn to you.
You know, Tony, Jadakiss, a fellow New York legend like yourself once said, it's good, but it's not good enough. So it's a conditional buy from me. I think we've all known that college sports is going to need a salary cap at some point, and I think this is a good idea. But even the presiding judge, as she said, like, yeah, at some point you're going to need a collective bargaining agreement. You're going to need a CBA. So that has to be the next step or within the next couple of steps. So this isn't about amateur athletics. It hadn't been about that in a long time. This is about the business of college sports. It's always been.
Buy or sell to NFL draft. Let's talk quarterbacks. Cam Ward could go number 1. Shedeur Sanders, top 5, maybe top 10. Jackson Dart, he's projected all over the place from number 7 to number 26 to even day 2. And Jalen Milroe, even more all over the place, late round 1 or day 2. That's the projections. However, the NFL invited Milroe to attend, and he accepted a green room invitation for day 1. And that is the question I want to ask right here, Tim Kalishow. Would you be accepting an invite if you weren't assured a day 1 pick?
I would not, Tony. I've done an exhaustive study of drafts the last 10 years. The people sitting on their couch with their family and friends having a party are having a much better time than the people sitting in the green room, especially those that do not get picked in the first 10 to 15 picks. And they sit there very lonely, surrounded by chairs and not much else.
Justin Tinsley.
Jalen Milroe, young men. If you aren't guaranteed to be a top 10 pick, don't go near that green room. Because I tell you one thing, Tony, the last thing you're going to do to me is put the crying Jordan face on my face or superimpose my face on Will Smith on the last episode of Fresh Prince when he's just standing in an empty living room. No, not sir. No, sir, not me.
Blasky?
Yeah, the NFL wants some star power there. Ignore them, Jalen. Stay home. The image of empty seats will haunt the rest of your career. People will talk about that forever. If you're there for day 1, don't get picked. Stay home, celebrate with your family and friends. It's a much better photo op if you get drafted.
Woody Page?
Why do I have to always straighten you guys out? You got the opportunity to be in a green room in Green Bay, and you're going to pass on that and stay in somebody's den and eat chicken wings? No, I want to be there. I want my brand to be in front of everybody. They're going to think about me. Right now, I'm considered just an also-ran kind of quarterback. Maybe this makes a difference for him. That somebody says,
okay, so you think this puts some positive momentum out there about him going in the first day? I love how you attached Green Room and Green Bay together. Like, yeah, that puts it over the top.
Nice.
That was enough to get the scoring average up for a little bit, Woody. But the quest for 700 waits for another day. Kalishaw, Tinsley, showdown next.
Here we go.
Tim Kalishaw, Justin Tinsley, head-to-head in showdown. This is their 6th all-time meeting. Tinsley 4, Kalishaw 1 in the head-to-head so far. Wow. Showdown 1, Lakers Thunder tonight. Yet another matchup between these two. Rematch of Sunday's big Laker win. Like life, everything you just did, you got to prove it again. So, Tim, what do the Lakers prove tonight, and what's on the line for these Thunder?
This is why the original World Series was best of 9, Tony. Still plenty of time for me. I don't think the Lakers have to prove anything tonight. They proved it Sunday. They can not just compete, but they can blow out Oklahoma City when they're clicking. LA also has a game tomorrow night in Dallas. Luka might have some thoughts about playing in that game, so I don't know how many minutes he needs to play tonight. The Thunder will come back and win tonight. They're the best team in the league.
Yeah,
the Lakers have already made their statement there.
I don't expect the Lakers to dominate the Thunder like they did on Sunday, but I do expect them to win because the Lakers need to win all the games that they can. Tony, did you know the Lakers have hit 15 threes in 5 straight games? That's the longest in franchise history. And Luka has the league lead in 35-5 games since the All-Star break. So this offense is clicking.
Much too many numbers for this mid-April matchup between. Hey, I know that the Lakers had 15 threes in 3 straight games. Yes, I believe every 3-point stat for a franchise has been set this year. That's what I think. I'm going to give the point to Kalish.
Hey.
Showdown 2, a Masters menu. The champ gets to pick it. You know this. Here it is. Texas chili, sliders with French fries on top, cowboy ribeye, and cookie. Basically the same menu Scotty Scheffler picked 2 years ago when he was defending champ. Justin, are you a order the same thing off the menu type guy, or you mix it up?
Oh, I'm absolutely order the same thing. At Woodmont Grill, I get the Hawaiian ribeye every time. But let me look at this menu. There's no way no one makes it to the cowboy ribeye after chili, meatball and ravioli bites, firecracker, shrimp, and sliders. Somebody's going to be pitching a tent in that bathroom, and that's 3D chess by
Too
Scheffler.
much information. Kalish, how about you?
You know, some people call those heavy appetizers. In Dallas, we call that a Tuesday night. That's fine. Chili's a little much for right before that ribeye, but Scotty knows what he's won with there. He's sticking with what got him there.
You don't even order off the menu, Tim Kalishow. You walk in, and Josh is like, I know what this guy wants. Here's what he wants, a FaceTime.
Okay, so this week, yes, is all about the superstar who left Dallas. Luka makes his visit to American Airlines Center Wednesday night. Going to be a lot of 77 jerseys, some Mavericks, some Lakers. It's going to be a crazy night. Let's not be so negative. Let's move forward. Let's move forward to the next Dallas superstar. Next Monday night, the WNBA draft. Wings have the first pick. Paige Beckers. Welcome to Dallas. Come on down. The Wings need you badly. They've won one playoff series since they got here. They need a little of that UConn magic. Let's bring Paige to town.
You go away from the Wings, please.
She's going to the
Nico
Spartans.
out of
Timmy's
that
got a
draft.
natty. Timmy's got a natty. Let's go.